In case you missed it, here's a Sports Animal Rewind.
Let's talk college football. It's time for the Sports Page Summer of College Football, presented by Buddy Gregg RVs and Motorhomes, our daily preview of teams and conferences around the country for the upcoming college football season. Find Buddy Gregg RVs and Motorhomes on their Facebook page, their website at buddygregg.com, and follow them on Twitter at Buddy Gregg RVs. Now let's take a full conference look at Conference USA.
To help us do that one, we bring in the head coach at Middle Tennessee. That would be Rick Stockstill. Coach Stockstill, Vince Ferrara, and Mike Strange. How you doing this morning, Coach?
I'm outstanding, Vince. How you doing, my man?
We're good. Always great to talk to you. How's this year different than maybe recent years with the team that you're bringing to the table this year?
Well, I think probably the biggest difference is maybe not so much within our team because I know them so well, but just the unknown going into a new conference. We play 8 opponents this year that we've never played before. So that's probably the biggest unknown right now. Just how we stack up against those other teams within our conference. We always played the out of conference schedule that are not similar every year, but just within this conference, Conference USA being the first year, how we stack up with everybody else.
Coach, I was, you're one of several teams that's come up from the Sun Belt to Conference USA, and I'm guessing one benefit you're going to say of going up to Conference USA is there are, I believe, 5 bowl affiliations, whereas the Sun Belt only had 2. You guys went 8-4 last year, and I don't believe you got to go to a bowl, did you?
Yeah, you're correct. Actually, there's 6 tie-ins with Conference USA, and everybody always asks me, what are you most excited about Conference USA? And the TV packages are obviously a lot better than the Sun Belt. Right now, we're on 11 out of 12 games, with the possibility of the 12th game being on TV also. The financial revenue that we're going to receive from Conference USA is a ton better than the Sun Belt. But the package I'm most excited about is the bowl packages with 6 compared to 2. I've said many times, standing in front of that team, my team last year, at the end of the year, and telling them that sitting at 8-4 and playing for the conference championship on the last day of the season and not going to a bowl game was the hardest thing I've had to do, in my 30 years of coaching. So that's the thing that I'm most excited about of being in Conference USA.
Joined by Rick Stockstill, Middle Tennessee head coach, as we preview Conference USA, taking a look at the Blue Raiders to kick things off today. You have a local player from Alcoa and Dalton Owenby. Talk about what the summer reports have been on Dalton and what you think of him as a prospect of the player.
I think Dalton's got a great future, a great upside to him. He's was a physical, strong player, in high school and had a great career there. He was here. He was able to go to summer school. He got up here the 1st of June, and he's back home now. Summer school ended there, last week, so he's able to go home. But I really like Dalton. I think he's tough. I think he's physical. He's strong, especially for his age right now, coming out of high school. He's come out of a very good high school program, a very competitive high school program, a very tough high school program where he's been well coached. And I'm excited about Dalton and his future. Hopefully we'll be able to redshirt him where he can grow and mature and learn our offensive scheme and everything. But I'm excited about Dalton.
What about Lucas Hamilton, freshman tight end from Lenoir City? Talk about him.
Same thing. Lucas is a really good athlete, played basketball. I think has the potential to really get big. And the same thing with all these freshmen. You like to redshirt them, where they can grow and mature, like I said about Dalton. But I think Lucas, same thing. He's got a great upside to him. He was here this summer also. And again, I think, he can run. He can be that tight end. I think here, once he grows and gets stronger, that he can put his hand in the dirt. But I also think he's athletic enough that we can flex him out and create some mismatches in the passing game, one-on-one for linebackers there, because he's so long and athletic. So I think he's got a chance to help us both in the run game and the passing game.
I'm sure every coach likes to have a veteran quarterback, and you've got one in Logan Kilgore. What does that give you?
Well, I think it's a comfort level one. Now he's going into his third year as a starter. I've said this all the time. I don't care if you're in high school, if you're in college, if you're in the NFL. If you've got a good quarterback, if you've got a experienced quarterback, that enhances your chances of being successful. And we've got one of those. Logan is, a tremendous leader. He's smart. He's got a great work ethic. He's competitive. All those intangibles that you want in a quarterback. And then on top of that, he can make every throw. He's a good athlete. So I think he's got a chance to have a special year. And like I tell these guys all the time, not all of them, but most of them here, that if you stay humble and continue to work hard, that you'll have a chance to play this game a long time, and that's Logan. I think he's got a chance to play at the next level.
Joined by Middle Tennessee head coach Rick Stockstill, Vince Ferrara, Mike Strange here on the new Sentinel sports page as we look at Conference USA. Coach, I don't know how many people know this, but Middle Tennessee over the last 2 seasons has given up the fewest sacks in the nation, only 15 sacks. Pretty nice work by your offensive line. You got a big portion of that group coming back this year.
Yeah, we got 4 coming back. Josh Walker, is a senior there. He's from Ray County, and has done a great job, and he's another guy I think that can play at the next level. So a lot of the credit goes to our offensive line, but you look at last year's group, I think we returned 1 starter off that group. So it's a tremendous credit to them. I think a lot of the credit, not a lot, but some of the credit needs to go to Logan. He does a good job of avoiding sacks and throwing the ball away and, extending plays and not taking unnecessary sacks. One of our sacks last year, actually our first sack of the year against Georgia Tech, was on a reverse pass to a receiver, and it wasn't open, and he ended up taking a sack on it. So some of the credit needs to go to our coaches and our scheme and what we're doing. So there's a lot of people. Our running backs are involved in it also, but we've done a good job of not taking a bunch of unnecessary sacks.
Coach, you're bringing a couple of familiar foes with you from the Sun Belt into the new league. Do you have a feel yet for how big of a change this is in difficulty of schedule, the competition you're going to play in Conference USA?
Mike, to be honest with you, I know we got a heck of a challenge in our schedule when you look at who we're playing out of conference. BYU, North Carolina. Memphis got better last year, and then just the tradition and history of the guys that we're going to be playing in conference. East Carolina, has got a dynamic quarterback. Marshall's got the player of the year at their quarterback. A lot of people bring back 8 and 9 and 10 starters on both sides of the ball. So this is we got a heck of a challenge, and I do know that. But until we get into the season and start watching them and seeing them on film, I think that's when we're going to get a good grasp of who we're playing or the competition and how we stack up against them.
Coach, how much of a potential problem do you think this new targeting rule, the helmet contact rule with the ejection, how big of a problem can that be with having more judgment placed on the officials?
It's funny you ask that, Vince. I'm right before you called, I was watching a DVD, on the new rule interpretation of player safety. And, we've got to do a good job of coaching it. I think that's where it starts, educating our players that, you've got to aim, below the shoulders. And a lot of times, you may be aiming below the shoulders, and then at the last second, that receiver or that player, running back, he dips his head and shoulders. He goes lower, and it is a head-to-head contact or helmet-to-helmet contact, and it's such a judgment call on the officiating crew. It's going to happen so fast. I hope they take some time to, almost like in baseball, how those umpires are play at the plate. They hesitate a second before they make that call to make sure they saw everything and they digested it, to make sure they're seeing what they saw before they make a call. So I think it's going to have I think it potentially could have a huge impact on your team just because of the severity of it. And I agree with the rule. I like the rule of protecting our players, the player safety of it. It's going to happen so fast that I hope our officials take a second to digest what they saw before they make that